What's up, y'all? So, this is me making a video for two separate channels. I'm hoping just because I'm like a smaller channel or channels rather that this ain't going to be really an issue, but I'm going to try my best just get some quick thoughts out. It's as I'm recording this New Year's Eve, the day before New Year's Eve, so I'm going to try my best to just get my points across really and just update a lot of people on some things. So, I mean, it ain't really a secret, and this is really the title of this video for real, just to go straight into it, and that is, I'm glad that my YouTube channels got terminated. Now, there is a huge story, not really that big, but there's a long story as to how that happened. You would think with me being on YouTube consistently, being on the internet a lot of the time, that I should know these rules. And quite frankly, this is going to play more into the reason why I'm happy about it. But quite frankly, YouTube does need to be better at letting you know the copyright rules, what you can't do. And the number one thing, this goes out to anybody who has a channel, who wants to get into YouTube, or just know this just because once your channel gets terminated, there's no getting it back. I wish someone would have told me that a long time ago, but it is what it is. But there's many reasons why I'm actually glad it got deactivated or terminated really, but there's many reasons, and I'm just kind of like scrambling, of course, but here's like the real thing. I was doing YouTube for the wrong reasons. I was doing YouTube. I know a lot of creators say this too, or really just anyone who's a creative say this. Oh, I was just doing it for fun. I was doing it for fun, but I was also doing it just to see about doing it full time, right? And that was my mistake. I think anybody who has made it in life with something that they really want to do, or you know what I mean? Like a prime example, of course, someone like, just let me cook, but someone like Stephen King, right? He's somebody who writes books for a living, but he didn't start off like right when he finished high school or whatever, like when he was a really young person, like he didn't start off wanting to write books, right? You know what I mean? Or even someone like Tyler the Creator. I remember when he first broke through the scene, he was a little overwhelmed by the fact that he was somebody who had all this attention and was getting controversy for his lyrics and what he did at his shows. And for him, it was like, well, I was just doing this for fun. I didn't know this was going to be like my full-fledged life. Which, I mean, he says that, but I'm sure he had this vision in his mind of like, I'm just going to do this forever. Not so much the controversy, but y'all know what I mean. And then ask for me, I was doing YouTube because, and not to be too transparent, but I'm just going to say it, I was doing YouTube at a time where I was kind of lost in life. Like when I first started my channel, those who know, but when I first started my channel, I was doing YouTube for the whole music reaction thing. And granted, music reactions have just changed so much in this decade. It's kind of crazy to even think about. What's even crazier to think about is when I kind of like came back to YouTube, because I had started doing it like, last decade when I was like a kid. But bottom line, by the time I came back, I saw that there was this huge community of reactors and music commenters and all that, or I guess music commentators. But the point, that has changed now. There are people who still do the reactions, but those who, like, for example, Sean C., he reacts to music, but he does that through Twitch. There's the Mallory Bros, but for the brand new music, they do those brand new reactions through Patreon first, and then months later, that's when they finally put them out. There's many different reactors I could name. But also just too, like, aside from the state of music even changing, brand new music at that, I just didn't see myself doing that forever, right? Then you move on to, at a certain point in the show, or it might as well be a show at this point, at a certain point on the channel, I remember reacting to movies and shows and episodes of Euphoria, and my monetization got taken away, which was not fun. Come to think of it, at this point, I would have rather they take away my monetization again versus just terminating my channels. And when that happened, I'm like, okay, well, let me just keep on doing the music reactions. But as much as I don't want to put myself down or anybody down who is doing what they're doing for fun, if your videos aren't getting views, like at a certain point in time, you might as well just stop doing it. I'm sorry, but like that's just the harsh truth. There's this one podcast I really try to listen to a lot. It's the John Campea podcast. This is going to foreshadow something else in a sec. But the number one thing when people are always asking him during his live show, like those who are trying to be creators on YouTube, how can I get more subscribers? How can I get more viewers? How can I get more likes or whatever the case? He said, that's not the question you want to ask. The question you want to ask is, how can I make my content better? Which is true because that's something that I didn't think about. I was just copying off of whoever I saw on here, and the number one reactor that I was peeping a lot was Big Quint Indeed. Now looking back, and it's crazy because I don't really watch his videos anymore, but even Anthony Fantano, the Needle Drop, Internet's Busiest Music Nerd, y'all know who I'm talking about. I was watching his videos all throughout high school, and I'm like, oh, well, I could do that. And the thing is, once again, similar to the reactions, my heart is not in it to want to even like review music. Then you add also, like I mentioned earlier with the whole Euphoria thing, at a certain point, I never opened up about this, but I was doing a YouTube channel where it was just me posting my TikToks from like my TikTok page and putting that onto like a movie review page. And I was kind of growing a little bit. I was actually impressed. I had one music channel that had 7K subscribers. I had another channel for the movie talks and anime and everything that was about to get 1,000. And what do you know? I broke some copyright strikes. But the first two things that I posted, and I don't want to talk about that, but I'm just saying the first two things that I did post, that's on me. But what was the straw that broke the camel's back was me posting official images that you could Google, and I put them up on this one video that is on my TikTok actually, and I'll just have a link below for my TikTok, shameless plug. But here's the thing. So now we get to, because that happened, damn, that's crazy, but that happened like, by the time this video comes out, probably, that was about 5 months ago, because it happened in September. For me, I was just like, you know what, I'm waving the white flag, I'm done. And I had been down this road before when it came to the monetization thing. I thought that was the biggest thing in the world that like was going to ruin my content creation game, but no, it wasn't. It was actually the fact that my entire channel just got disappeared, which I don't need no sob story, or I don't need the world's smallest violin that Mr. Krabs is playing in the episode of SpongeBob. But the thing about it is, you gotta see it from my perspective and my point of view. I'm not going to give any analogies to this because I could go on all day, but imagine working on videos for 6 years. At some point, you're staying up all night making videos, and then the next thing you know, it's just all gone. It's very disheartening, and man, I had like a few videos that I was actually happy about. Shout out to AG Club if they're watching this, or maybe not, but just in general, had somebody, or rather a group of people who have been at Coachella and many different festivals, and it's inspiring because they're from where I'm from, but that video is gone now. And again, that's on me, but in life, sometimes you do have to learn from, like, the biggest L's, right? Now let's get up to this point, and that is, it's actually kind of interesting how this kind of took place, but for me, I do have 2 TikTok pages. Now I know for some, it's like, why would you make 2 TikTok pages? You might as well just have one page just for everything and anything, and that could be your brand. And while I could do that, there are some creators on YouTube and just in general who do have separate pages. And my point is this. One page that I've been kind of ignoring, and that's my bad, but one page is, to me at least, going to be dedicated to music, lifestyle things, vlogs maybe. I kind of just see those 2 things going hand in hand. The other page, which just reached 1,000 followers, happy about that, is going to be dedicated to movie talks, TV talks, video games, maybe books and comic books. I don't know yet because I'm still dipping my toe in, so to speak, with that world. And yeah, I mean, this is just, a thing too, because then another thing is, I'm going to spare details with this because it's a little bit more personal, but another thing is last year I wasn't able to, well, by the time is crazy. Another thing is in 2024, I could barely post. I could barely make time to make videos. It's just trippy how my life has like changed a lot. Even I've changed a lot, you know what I mean? I've changed a lot, and, for the better, some for not, I'm not going to say the worst, but some things I just need to make improvements on. And, I'm a work in progress. I think we all are when you really think about it. And just know that I have made some, pretty monumental changes in my life, whether it's like professional, whether it's personal, with friends, with other things, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. And that's all for the betterment of, like, not even so much my mental health, but just my growth. I was definitely, one major reason I'm glad that my channel or channels are gone is because I was a different person when I was making them videos. I was not putting myself down, just let me cook. I was different in the regard of not having the best, healthiest practices. I wasn't really self-medicating or drinking or smoking, and no shame to anybody who does that, but just for me, that never does it for me. I wasn't really self-medicating. It was more so negative self-talk. And I'm gonna maybe make another video about that one of these days or something. But it was that. It was also not because of that, not really believing in myself in terms of doing videos full time, or oh, no one's ever going to watch this. And it is kind of a thing. And I'm glad I learned this in some books I've read, but it is a thing of like, you do have to move as if the universe is listening to you. Bottom line too is just, I just wish school did a lot more for me. I'm not talking about university. I'm talking about like K through 12. It just, and I'm not going to say anybody specific, but just know there's people in my life who have always been like, school is where you learn anything and everything. School, school, school. And for me, I've learned my biggest lessons outside of a classroom. You know what I mean? Negative self-talk, the not believing in myself, not venturing off and finding other creators that I could be inspired by, and just more so distracting myself. That's what was holding me back from wanting to do videos, or really just thinking about like, oh, how can I make my videos better? I was more so just stuck on views, subscribers, when I should have just been focusing on what content could be great, which is how those things can come to be. You know what I mean? And yeah, y'all, wasn't really trying to be too long-winded with this video, but I will say too, because it is kind of like, well, where does that leave me now? Like, what am I planning to do for 2026 with YouTube? My thing is this. I'm going to play that by ear. I don't want to make any promises. I don't want to say, oh, I'm going to start doing live videos, or I don't want to say I'm going to start doing reactions again, and I really doubt I ever will. I'm going to be talking about the newest artists that just came through, like San Francisco, that no one knows about. I'm going to do vlogs on them. Like, no, like, I gotta be realistic, set boundaries, set expectations that are realistic, not so much just say yes to anything and everything. I'll say yes, but just, for things that just make sense for me. And plus too, and this ain't an announcement, so don't take this to heart, all right? But let's face it, aside from the entertainment of things, movie, TV, music, anime, books, comic books, whatever the case, whether it is things that I talk about, or whether it's just those things in general, what's the number one thing do you think that people keep up with other than any of those things? If you get this right, cool. If not, so be it. But it's podcasts. Podcasts are definitely taking the world by storm. Yes, there's Twitch streams also too. And I mean, I guess YouTube is kind of still in that realm because YouTube is the biggest streaming app. No, it's not Netflix. No, it's not HBO Max. It's still YouTube, which is why I do want to come back to this. But I'm saying that to say podcasts are definitely a thing that I've thought about, not an announcement, and it is funny because I do have what's pretty much a podcast microphone, but yeah, I never thought I could see myself doing it, and I'm gonna just still play that by ear because it's either do I want to do it by myself or do I want to do a podcast where I interview people. I'm kind of playing that by ear because some of the podcasts that I listen to either just have one somebody or they got other somebodies, right? So, and hey, I do have a background when it came to going to school in journalism and film, so it is kind of like, why not? And yeah, I mean, regardless, y'all, if anything and anything, as I move on into the new year, I want to just, focus on myself in terms of not giving up, focus on myself in terms of reading more books. I know there's kind of this stigma on self-help books, and I understand that, but for me, they kind of do help me, and I'm just leave it at that. And just seeing about where things could go. Because 2024 was definitely one of the most challenging years for me, especially towards the end, and that is a video for another time. But yeah, I mean, I just want to see about, doing things I would never do before. Hell, if somebody could put me on a podcast, I mean, it's kind of like, why not? But I don't want to, like, just like I said earlier, say yes to everything. But hey, if I'm a fan, cool. If not, well, maybe not, but regardless too. And then also another thing is gaming is a passion that I'm trying to get back to. I'm not kicking myself, but I'm just saying that I wish that I got more into gaming when I was younger, and I'm still a fan, and I got some other consoles too, but let me not go to that much further. But yeah, I got to figure out how Twitch works. I got to figure out just how other platforms work, because that's just the world we're in. Yes, I'm still a fan of movies, but I understand that young demographics who don't have access to be able to go to theaters or rather streaming services, they do have YouTube, they have Tubi. I'm not making no damn Tubi original, goddammit, but I'm just saying that there's just other ways to reach an audience, find a community, build. Nothing is ever too impossible, right? And it's not too late for me. I'm not going to say how old I am, but those who know. But I will say that, whether I'm 40, whether I'm 50, whether I'm 60, I'm just going to do my best to keep on trying. A number one thing, too, to just, end this out is I've realized, and I've said this to even my therapist, but I'm just saying that where negativity is, I'm not there for that. I've realized that not so much the hard way, but I've just realized that over time, this decade especially, that if there's negative energy towards anyone or anybody, let alone myself, that's where I just see myself out. And I don't expect a whole lot of people to get that, because especially in the times we're in today with social media, with the internet, with the hot Cheeto nigga in office, like, let's face it, there is a lot of things that make us prone to negativity, and I understand that. But yeah, I just had to let that out. I know that's kind of random, but I had to let that out just because, like, yeah, I'm not for that. Anyways, y'all, so yeah, hope y'all got something out of this video that I did, because I do try to make it a routine, or rather just a common thing when the year is over, to put out some type of video. It's too bad those other videos are gone, but it is what it is, because we move forward. I think this video may come out by the time my lists are out. I still gotta assemble my list, and I got some other things that I may make a vlog on, and stay tuned for that. But yeah, I gotta hurry up and do that. But hey, regardless, it's still been, to me at least, a great year for entertainment. For me, I feel like it always is. As long as you are on the lookout for what's out there, then it's never a bad year. That being said, y'all, how has your 2025 been? What were some of your favorite? Well, let me not ask that question yet. I was going to ask what's some of your favorite things, but let alone what's the biggest takeaway from 2025 for you? Because for me, it's been a lot of different things, and I'm happy about that. Also, a little scared about that, but that's okay, because I can't live in fear, but I just have to go in head first regardless. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's good to be able to put out like an actual video for real. And I'm excited for what's to come soon. I'm not going to put out a set date of when my next video is, or next videos, or how often I'll be back, but I do want to start doing this more. So yeah, y'all, whatever y'all think, let me know in the comments. Let's discuss. Of course, just let me know. I hope y'all have a safe and happy new year, and just overall, if you got a lot of wins this year, hope that continues next year. If you didn't, there's always next year. And I'm just blessed and happy to be able to change up my equipment, not give up, and to keep moving forward.